your your operator's manual. You have the software CD. You have battery charger instructions. This is actually your receiver, your wireless receiver. So you plug this into a USB port to your computer. Which, if any of you guys played with the other one, it had like, what was it, like 6-pronged, ancient
serial.
I don't even know what it's called. You actually have, it's supposed to come with 2 keys, but they only sent us it with 1. So you have 1 key, so you can lock this case. It is a rolling case, and you have a handle that can come out the one side. So try to put some ergonomic thinking into the case itself. This is just another attachment or extender, so you can, if you don't have much room on your on the desk that you're mounting this receiver to, it's got some suction cups here, and you can just put the receiver on the end of it. And then you have your battery charger right here. That's the top level. The second level is this. So this is basically your lower compartment or lower unit for the lumbar motion monitor that connects to your waist belt, and this is the upper part. So you can see a lot more compact and portable than the old bulky one. And then you have a little connection. This just connects the power really between the lower unit and the shoulder unit.
So it has an internal measurement that it's using.
Yep.
It's actually a potentiometer.
Oh.
And you have an on and off, obviously, here. That's the second level, and then the bottom is just the 2 harnesses, the waist and the shoulder harness. And then you do have, this is if for some reason you can't get the telemetry working, you can't hardwire it in.
You said there was,
I think this is 50 feet, I believe.
Wasn't there? And the old one had a large and small.
Yeah, the 2 words.
2 sizes.
Yeah, 2 sizes. This one just gonna.
This is one size fits all.
All right.
Again, it's made to fit 90% of your population.
I think it's universal design.
Mm-hmm.
Same for all.
All right, let's do it.
Which I don't believe.
Well, before we actually strap this on somebody, let me just pull up the software here. I've already installed it here, so this is what that icon looks like. Can you guys see? All right. Ballet 2.4. This little window comes up. Click OK. New file. Am I in the way of the camera here?
That's fine.
I'm just going to open up one that I've saved already. I'll open it. So let's just start from scratch. That way I can walk you through. New project, right? Save this as test project 3. Okay. So right now everything is blank, right? And the only thing I can select is what company, right? So company ABC. I don't know. Grocery, whatever you want to input. You can put in the SIG code. Company contact, you can input that if you want, John Doe, whatever. Okay. Now it's asking me for what job do I want to look at, right? Yes, company ABC. We call it stock clerk. I don't know. It does ask you for the lift rate up front, and you can go back and change that later. Let's just make up a number here. and I think I misspoke before. I told you this was the total number of lifts per shift.
Yeah.
It's lifts per hour, sorry.
Is that averaged out over the shift?
Yes. Okay. And within that, you can add a task. And for me, I try to break up the tasks as specific as I can. So for instance, like that example we were talking about before, lifted from a shelf to waist height or carry height, I would call that one lift. And then you'd have the lift again at the end lift from carry height to pallet, something like that. So I would break those up separately because it's going to ask for, what the moment arm is for that first lift and what the moment arm is for that second lift. So I would be as specific as you can with your task breakdown. And there's only so many characters that you can put in the task name. Just say lift that shelf, and then in your description you can say, you can put more, lift box from shelf to carry height. And you don't necessarily have to put in all this. The vertical stuff doesn't matter unless you're wanting to run a NIOSH. But really, these things are going to matter. The moment arm at the origin, moment arm at the destination, and then weight. Okay. So let's just say it's 17 inches at the origin, 15 inches at the destination, and then we need to specify weight, right? What do you guys want to lift? I'll leave it up to you.
I think there are a few dumbbells.
Oh, just give me a weight.
20 pounds.
20 pounds, okay?
240. That's a strong.
20 pounds, too?
I think it's more than that.
1.25.
It's like 15 pounds.
25. Just 10.
Each of these are 10?
Maybe.
Or that's total. Okay, 5, that's 10.
Was it a 5
20
pound
pounds,
grip?
probably
That's probably
15. It's close to 20 pounds, because the
Yeah,
bar is
maybe
probably 5
25.
pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm only calibrated to
Yeah.
hundreds of pounds for my bicep curls. You guys are a tough crowd. Well, actually, man. That's probably about 25 pounds. Okay. We'll up it at 25, is that okay?
Yep.
Good with that? Yeah. Okay. And then now, we need some subjects, right? We just add an employee. And you can see here, say, last name Doe, first name John. Birth date, gender, and specify. And then here's where you can specify all that anthropometric data. So if you want to analyze that, based on some of this data later and export it into Excel, you can do that. So it asks for weight, stature, shoulder height, elbow height, left iliac height, upper leg length, etc., xiphoid breadth. I just wanted to tell you it's not using any of that for the risk model. Okay. So we're time to collect, and it asks you, again, name the company, what job are we looking at. You can input multiple jobs, multiple tasks per job. This LMM size, you guys, for this one, it's always the only selection you're gonna have is the LMM3. This is the third version of it. So now, if I click OK, this screen comes up, and because I don't have it plugged in, right, it's telling me it's not responding. So I need to plug it in. Plug in the receiver. Fan of light. You guys still watch? That show's still on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not dating myself, am I? Okay. And it will blink red if you don't have this turned on. And and what this asks you to do, at least for the calibration, is keep it in this, because that kind of ensures everything is in line and that these washers are tightened all the way. And now what you also need to do is to connect the power between the two units. Gotta have this, okay? And this is actually just on a pulley system. Okay. And what else do I need to do?
Turn it on. Turn it on.
You guys are engineers for some reason, I knew. Right? Sometimes this receiver's a little bit buggy, so sometimes I'll have to take it out of my USB port and plug it back in. See it, right? So it's a little bit off, but not too bad. So let's zero it all the way. And now you can see it's right there. I mean,
Is there a small variation? Like I see a few green.
I bet the green is sagittal. But I mean, that's like less than a degree. Again, as long as that's, hovering around the zero, you should be good to go. Okay? A lot of times I'll just kind of test this thing, make sure it's working okay. Might help if I start it, huh? I'll just kind of make sure that the sagittal is the green one. Now if you move it forward, you're getting some squiggly lines. And the twist is actually the yellow. And then lateral is the red, so side to side. And then in terms of the data collection, what did I say? How do you collect data? How do you capture the data that you want saved? Who's paying attention?
Is it F1?
F1 for
Yeah, we only
Or
have
is it
one
already
task that we
collecting it?
specified here, right?
Okay.
So you hit F1 once to start the data capture, hit it again at the end of the lift. Which, I'll do that once we strap this thing on. Okay? Make sense? Now, to put this on a person, what I would recommend doing is actually attaching these to the shoulder harness and attaching it to the waist harness before putting the harnesses on the person, okay? Rather than trying to put the harness on and then attach it. It's just easier to do it the other way. Okay? Who's my guinea pig? My volunteer, I should say.
I'm also come from the 25 pounds.
You can handle 25 pounds.
Now let's start with the shoulder. Let me turn this off. And I would disconnect this, just so you have the upper unit separated from the lower. And then once it's connected and you have it on the person, that's when I would plug this in, okay? See, this is already threaded and everything, you just You still recording video? on
Yeah.
this? So I have to be very fast at this, is that right?
If you need a video, you can just fast forward.
Do your computer video and just cut it.
You edit all these videos afterwards, right? Kuko? You edit all these videos at production value?
Lots of star wipes.
Yeah. Much
Just movie maker
transitions.
effects.
scenes.
All the-
Yeah, put on the YouTube.
Yeah, some credits at the end.
Do you want music?
There's a lot of Velcro on this thing. All right, and how we want to arrange this is the two straps that are closer to one another. Where do you think that goes? That's right. Ones that are further apart, goes around the waist, or the torso. Okay. So when I'm putting this on, orient it the way that it came in the case, like this.
What's the weight of the entire assembly? You know?
That's like 2 pounds,
Okay, so it's.
2.5 maybe.
I'm seeing that. I can't tell if that's like a plate of steel or something. That might be
You got any user feedback on it being restrictive to do the task at all, or?
You know, not really. You'll see. Well, who's gonna be my guinea pig? Because you want to have it snug, but you don't want to have it to the point of where they can't breathe. You're gonna have some. You're gonna have a little bit of Hawthorne effect because you're collecting data on them, so they may not necessarily do it exactly the same way that maybe we're observing. But that's with anything.
As opposed to what they actually did.
That's lifting.
To try to minimize that, then just kind of let them get used to wearing it before you start capturing data. Let them do whatever that they need to do, or do some trial. Try some trial lifts with it before you actually record the data. As you guys know, we kind of do that with everything. Okay. So we have it on the shoulder harness. Here, and then what I'll get you to do is just temporarily tighten this strap so it stays on. It's just, there you go. So you have a lot of extra strap, so just in case you have somebody that's larger, girthier. Again, it's color coded, so you have the red. The red, right? And you really want to position, I'm going to have you turn around just for a minute. You want to position it such that the unit here, the top of this unit line right here, basically matches up with the shoulder blades. The bottom of his shoulder blade. Right there, so I'll always do it. That make sense?
Yeah.
You don't want it way up here. So we're basically trying to capture the low back motions. Just have you. I'm gonna turn around so we can face the camera again. Not used to this camera stuff. matter if you do the green strap before the red strap. I mean, they're just bisecting the torso, so. Another rule of thumb is kind of to have the front of this right at the tip of the sternum. Okay. We may end up tightening that a little bit. You want to minimize the wiggle as much as possible. I'll just have you pull this up, if you don't mind. A little bit more. Can you hold that?
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Pretty neat.
Cutting off circulation here?
Nah. It's good.
Sure.
Yeah. Hope so.
Again, you just want it snug so it's not, you don't have a whole lot of wiggle here. Okay, good? Questions? All right. Next thing we'll do is attach the lower unit to the waist belt. What are you doing on time? 10:49. Just tread it like the other one. You guys having fun yet?
The best movie of the year right now. Slide.
Do you guys own this product?
Yeah, we purchased it, I guess, well, we purchased it at the end of last year, last fiscal year, because we had how our company works is we're actually a not-for-profit organization, so if we make too much money, that goes above and beyond our operating budget and everything, we have to spend it out, otherwise it goes to the state, so we had some extra monies and thought that this would be some valuable use of our money. I mean, this is about 30 grand's worth of equipment, and now you guys will have the ability to use it. So,
Who owns the element?
Next Gen was the company that we ordered it through.
Oh, okay.
Next Gen. But yeah, so the Ergonomic Center purchased this one, but we pretty much got it for you guys. I mean, and then any consulting work that we engage in that we want to get to this level. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
So I'm just kidding. But not really. Okay, and this is important because really you want this such that the top of this, you guys know the iliac crest, right? Your hip bones, top of your hip bones right here. You want it such that the top of the waist belt is right there at the top of the iliac crest. Because the way that this is made, you kind of see a slight curve downward. And if you align the sides of this with the iliac crest, then it's supposed to correctly position this such that it's aligned with L5S1, okay? Based on the majority of users, okay? So I'll just have you put it like this and then I'll help you. Just want to turn around for the camera. All right, I'll put this camera thing on there. All right. And obviously you'll have to palpate a little bit. Let's see, right, that your iliac.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tighten the front straps while I have it sitting there? You really want to try to get this thing as vertical as possible.
Do you know if there's any issues trying to use this in special environments where people may have PPE or something that causes issues, or has that not really been a problem?
It hasn't been. The only thing is that, you know, that we've seen some applications where they're in tight spots and kind of rubbing up against the back. So if you have something like that, then you're going to damage the equipment.
That's not an ideal operating condition anyways for the person. So.
So, I mean, yeah, you have to have kind of free range of motion, especially in this area right here. Okay.
I just wasn't sure if the sensitivity is such that, you know, bulky PPE might cause a problem.
We've used it on a number of people with, you know, everybody from wearing the, you know, complete whites and pharmaceuticals. It hasn't been a problem because it's so I mean, the straps are so adjustable, and you have a lot more extension too if you need it. We need to get pretty tight, but we still want you to be able to breathe. Okay, stand up straight. Yeah, we need that a little bit tighter, I think. And then the leg straps will certainly help with the up-down too.
Yeah.
And then for me, I usually get the subject to reach and grab the straps, and then I can kind of help them, but I don't like to reach in between somebody's legs too big, so that would be my suggestion. And you reach the back straps that come through the legs. And you do want these, you know, relatively snug. It's the fun part, you know. Okay. And then I'll have you turn around again. And then once everything's on, just kind of do a check. And you really want these things in line with each other. Okay. I mean, if one is shifted left or shifted right, we want to make sure we have a nice straight line between the two connection points.
They'll throw off the twist bodies, correct?
Yes. Yeah, kind of this line here, the shoulder blades. So you'll see some of this is kind of up on the, you know, the bottom of it's kind of in the upper buttock section. What else we need to do? This, right?
Is that a phone cord?
Yep. Let's out of the way. Now move around a little bit. Does it feel like it's obstructing you or anything as far as bending?
Yeah, it's fine.
Does it feel like it's restricting your range of motion?
Maybe around the
A little bit there?
Yeah, like there. Probably just to do with the width of the
Is it, I
bed.
mean, can you breathe okay?
Yeah. Does the actual software, when it's generating these values, does it account for the fact that when it's on a knee standing upright, that may not be the perfect calibration alignment? Does it use a offset from averages, or do you know what kind of algorithm it's using? I was curious.
Let's take a look and see. Because I mean, most people actually don't stand at 0. They have a little bit of lordosis, and I believe it does it from a pure vertical.
Okay.
Because you'll see that it should show up as like a -10 in terms of sagittal flexion, because it's lordosis.
And then I guess the software just to account for that.
Yep.
So that's the basic.
All right. Let's make sure we turn you on. So let's say we have you. We'll just have you lift this and place it here. We're going to damage anything.
I noticed that the inputs had coupling, so you have an IOSH coupling.
Mhm.
That's not used in the rest. That's what it all. So it does not the coupling.
It just goes into the NIOSH, which is kind of buggy. Yeah, good question. So let's just make sure we're getting some data. Is this on? Yes, okay.
It's negative 20 ounces.
Yeah, so he has about a -20-degree lordosis from pure vertical. Okay, yeah, move around a little bit.
So you don't want to zero that to account for the.
No, you only zero it when it's in the frame. Okay.
I'm not sure if it's the same, but like, based on, you zero it out based on a calibration block, and then whatever the differences are, the person uses their baseline to calculate the stuff. So that's just, they said it's more consistent with the data, do it that way.
Okay. Ready to do a lift?
Should we just put the initial height and
Yes, we should. Stop. Close. The vertical start height. We have tape measure. What is that?
3 inches,
Yeah, I think
6 inches?
3, 4.
Well, it's from standing surface, right? He's standing here.
Oh, so the handle.
So I was thinking he's probably gonna lift it to here,
Yeah.
so it'd be this height to the floor. And again, this doesn't even go into it only goes into NIOSH. So the only thing we really need for the risk model is the moment arm at the beginning, moment arm at the destination. Okay. Which if we're measuring that, if I get you to kind of freeze frame and at the origin of the lift, it's
So should I fix the portion from which I'm trying to lift? So should we mark on the floor?
Your feet should move.
Yeah, because, I mean,
well, I was just gonna have you lift from there and place it here, right?
yeah.
So really your horizontal distance, that moment arm at the beginning, if you get back into that position, it'll be just the horizontal distance between that middle knuckle and essentially, a lot of times you can just use the seam of the pants to here. I mean, this would be L5S1,
Yeah.
that distance there. I don't have a tape measure, but we just said we'll say it's 18. Okay? And then once you do that at the destination of the lift, obviously that's another critical piece to get. Now, since this is maximum moment, what is it going to capture in the risk model? It's 18, we're saying it's 18 at the beginning of the lift and 15 at the end of the lift. What's it going to pull for maximum moment?
8.
Yeah, the worst case. Okay. Okay. So we're good there. Let's go back into our data collection. Okay, yep, you can start upright. You can start upright. So yeah, just make sure everything is looking okay, steady state. Okay, and whenever I'm gonna say ready, set, go. And when I say go, you'll start, and I'll hit F1. Okay? Ready, set, go. Okay, and I've stopped. All right. I'll probably wait till he returns back up to vertical before I stop my capture. So I kind of did it a little prematurely, but that's okay. All right, and you can still collect 2 more trials in the same run if you'd like.
I can do it in a different way, right? So
Yeah.
I can try this.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't ready.
All right, take 2.
Okay. Yeah. Start back from upright. Okay. Ready, set, go. Back upright. Okay. Do it again.
About 238 more times, I think, based on that.
Well, now you don't have to. Hang on. Now, did I say ready, set, go?
No, that was.
Sorry. You're a good sport. All right. Ready, set, go. Okay. Okay. So there's our 3 trials. Save run. You can collect multiple runs if you want to. And what I was telling you before is making sure that these numbers are accurate in terms of the moment arm here under the, under the run. Because if I go back to the task and we just change it there, it's pulling the moment arm information from this, not from here. So if you're going to update it, if you change the number here and the number here, it's not going to translate and go all the way, and go down into these numbers.
So you can independently adjust each trial, so if the person starts
Exactly
moving
right.
around.
Yep, exactly right. I just wanted to point that out because personally I wasn't aware of that with this newer software. You got to change it here. So you know if you see differences between the different trials, you can modify them there. Okay. So how do we get into a risk model for this one task that we've analyzed? What do you think?
Analyze.
Yes, sir. So you can select either overall job risk, which would do it across multiple tasks if you had to input multiple tasks. Right now we only have 1 task. So this would prompt you the overall task risk. You can really only select 1 task at a time if you select this option. Or if you have multiple employees, you can do job risk by employee. Again, we only had 1 employee here. Or job risk by employee per task. So it lets you select all 4 of those parameters.
You said it is possible just to output a raw data file as well if you really want to.
Yeah, I'll show you how to do that. So if we just go back and we do analyze, overall job risk, I mean, again, we only have 3 trials of that 1 task. That gives us, and that's averaging across the 3 trials. Okay. 47% is what it gives us. So what's driving up our risk here? Which makes sense, right? We're lifting it all the way, from almost all the way from the floor. Didn't have a whole lot of lateral velocity. Twist, minimal twist. You actually used your feet pretty well, so that was good. Lift rate's another driving factor.
Can you just check for the second trial? Because like.
Yeah, you can select independent trials if you want. So if we want to just look at that first trial, you just select that one. Again, this thing prompts you fewer than 3 trials were selected. Results may not be valid, but you can still continue. So that one was 44%. If you want to compare that to the second trial, is that what you want to do? Select the second trial. Okay, yes. And you know why? Because this maxes out, you guys probably can't see it back there, but 22.5 degrees of forward flexion, which in both methods that you used, you're still more than that. So that's why this is all the way up. So you didn't really see much difference because you're still above 23 degrees from vertical.
As the threshold is indicated for that, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So obviously what this won't do is you can't plot like multiple tasks on the same graph. At least through the software, you can do that yourself, exporting the data. But unfortunately, they just didn't build that function in with this version of the software. It'd be nice to do, but it doesn't have that capability right now.
And I have another question, like during the analysis, should we instruct the employee not to handle her job using a single hand? Because like I could have pulled this using a single hand, and generally NIOSH says like you're not supposed to handle stuff just your.
Yeah, it's more with 2 hands for this. I mean, if they adjust it, if they kind of just slide it forward, that's really it's a separate issue. I mean, that's a separate task. That would be more of a like pulling task, so it wouldn't be part of the lift. So when you're actually measuring, if they're going to slide it close to them, it's really where they're going to be starting to lift it and how far away from the spine they're lifting it, not from where they're sliding it, because that slide is really going to be a non-issue if it's on a low friction surface. Make sense? Let me show you how to export. If you need to get back to the calibration screen, and again, the calibration is really only meant for when the device is in the case, you can go back to this options, adjust LMM offsets, and then get it again. I'm not going to zero it because it's not in the case. But obviously you see this export option, right? So you can output the summary data, which is just the it's the mins, the maximums, and the averages for the data that it's collecting. Or you can output the motion data, which is at 60 hertz. So for every second of data collection time, you have 60 data points. So either way you want to do it, you can output both of those things. So let's just do summary data. It is asking you, which trials or which tasks you want to select. And it's the same as, what I was showing you earlier. We only had 3 trials, so I'll just output all of it. Now first it saves it as a text file, which you guys have probably seen with other software. I'm just going to save this to my desktop so I can delete it quickly. I'll just save it as test 3 data, again a dot text file. And as you guys probably already know, let's go into Excel. So I'd open Excel first and then open up your text file and do the whole delimited thing. Open, desktop, what did I call this? Yeah, I need to change the file type, right? Either text files or all files. It was this one, right? Test 3?
Yep.
That's the state. Open. The delimited. Next. And these are actually separated by commas for the different columns. So make sure this comma is selected, and that will give you all the different column categories. So you have everything from company, job name, or job name, last name, first name, run date, run number, task name, trial number, the weight. And here's what I was telling you, that it outputs it only in in metric units. So this is in kilograms, which you can change the units in the software from metric to English, but I was using English units, and I've tried both, and it only outputs it. It only exports to metric units for some stupid reason. So that's another pet peeve of mine for the software. Anyway, just to warn you. If we did input our initial force and our sustained force, that really goes into the psychophysical Liberty Mutual tables for pushing and pulling. We didn't input that. Our moment, let's see, moment arm at the origin. This is that distance, but this is in centimeters, not inches like we input. Moment arm at destination, vertical start height, vertical end height, asymmetry, duration, frequency per minute, coupling, action limit, maximum permissible limit, which was from the 81 NIOSH. Again, that stuff you're not going to use this software for anyway, so you can delete all those columns. All the push-pull, if you input that, it'll output it. This is basically, it's pulling information from those psychophysical tables. But again, since we're not using that, it's pretty much a waste. This gives you maximum left bend, maximum right bend, the range, max extension, flexion, max sagittal range, max left twist, max right twist, max twist angle, and then the average lateral velocity, maximum lateral velocity, average sagittal velocity, max sagittal velocity, average twist, max twist velocity, and then it gives you the accelerations as well, maximum lateral, maximum sagittal, maximum twist accelerations. This was this was all of the motion data, right? Or wait, no, this was the summary. So if you wanted all of it, it would output it based on the time. Questions? I bore you to death? Well, my plan was actually just to leave this with you guys, and certainly, if you want to install it on a central computer that you guys know is on there, that would be my recommendation, and you guys can kind of play around with it. Since this is like a $30,000 device, please use caution in using it. Be treat it like your baby. It would be appreciated.
Do you want to keep the key?
What's that?
Do you want to keep the key?
You guys can have that key. I'll think about that. Okay. Makes sense, though?
Yeah, it does.
It's pretty straightforward, I think. All right, yeah, we'll get you dismantled here, and if there's no questions, that's kind of all I had planned.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice job.